Hi ladies, in this video we're going to go through the difficult questions for 5G. So 5G, the topic is volume of a prism. Now the good thing about volume is that all you need is a constant cross section. So with these four shapes here, the constant cross section just means where do I cut the shape, and the shape I'm left with is going to be constant. So kind of like slices of bread. So if you thought this was a loaf of bread, this front part would be its constant cross section, but you could actually slice it the other way. So instead of vertically cutting it, you go horizontally. And B is also going to have a few different constant cross sections. But C, think of this as a block of cheese. If we were to slice it along this way, it's really hard to see, you would have triangular slices of cheese. So your constant cross section is this triangle part. So no matter how many times we cut it, you're going to end up with that triangular part. Whereas if we were to cut it another way, we wouldn't get that constant cross section. So your cross section just means we're cutting it, and constant just means it's the same all the way through. And then for question D, that constant cross section is your trapezium on the front. Now, if you didn't see that as a trapezium and you saw it as a rectangle and a triangle, and I'm just about to compete with the gardener who is mowing, there's no lawn, he's mowing up the leaves on the driveway, which is interesting. At least I know it won't be long. It's an interesting way to get the leaves. Okay. So I'm sorry, your listening is going to have to compete with the noise of that lawnmower. Okay, so a constant cross section is the trapezium at the front, because no matter how many times we cut it along, we're always going to have that trapezium shape. If we cut it, say, horizontally, so cut it this way, we're going to have different size pieces. Okay, we're not going to have that constant cross section. I also chose question 7 is because we're going to convert our answers into litres. So 1 centimetres cubed is 1 milliliter. So that means 1 litre is equal to 1,000 centimetres cubed. So we're just going to have to do a division at the end. All right, so let's get started. Oh God, I put a few questions on there. It's going to be a long video. I'm just going to do a page break. Okay, what I'll do, instead of keep scrolling, I've got my textbook next to me, so I'm just going to do, can't find the page, there we go. I'll just keep referring back to my book as opposed to scrolling. Okay, so I'll do 7A, but then I'm going to skip B because B isn't that difficult. Actually, I'll do B. Okay, so we've got our rectangular prism. Now, if you like to draw the shapes, just draw your two rectangles, join your corners. If you like, you can do broken lines to show that that's inside. Now, your constant cross section is, I'm just going to highlight it because it hasn't been highlighted for you on the diagram. So we're going to find the area of that, which is 10 by 20. Okay, so that's the area of this front part, and then we multiply it by the length of the shape, which in this case is 40. Now, you can also say, well, that's just the formula for the volume of a rectangular prism, which it is, length times width times height, but I just wanted you to get into the habit of seeing the constant cross section. All right, so 10 times 20 is 200, and then 200 times 40 is 8,000. So we've got 8,000 centimetres cubed. Now to convert into litres, we're just going to divide that by 1,000. So that is equal to 8 litres. All right, question B. Now the reason I did want to do this is because it is a cube and it hasn't labelled, I always do that and stuff it up a bit. Okay, sorry. There's our cube. it only has one side labeled 50, but it's a cube. So every side is the same. Whoops, not, it's 50, sorry. And that's 50 as well. Now, if you like, you can highlight your constant cross section. So that front part there. But similar to this, it's still a rectangular prism. It's just a cube. You can do length times width times height, which is the same as 50 cubed. And oh gosh, I'm going to guess it, not guess. I'm going to say that is the answer, but I don't. Oh, now he's using a leaf blower. Okay, beautiful. Not beautiful, the leaf blower. Beautiful, I got the right answer. And that is centimeters cubed. So let's just convert that into liters. So divide by 1,000. All right, so if we're dividing by 1,000, you can just cancel your zeros, okay, like that. So I'm left with 125 liters. All right, let's go on to C. He's coming closer and it's getting louder. Okay, so we've got, let's say, our block of cheese. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, ladies. Okay, so there it is. Highlight your constant cross section. So there it is, that triangular part there. So we do the area of that triangle, which is a half base times height, and then we multiply it by the length. So the base of this triangle is 8. And your height, I think I preferred the lawnmower. And then the length is 18. All right, I'm just going to cheat and do that all on my calculator. It's not cheating. It's probably just means I'm not going to make a mistake. Oh my gosh, 360 centimeters cubed. And if we're converting that into liters, I'm going to have 0.36 liters. And I'm just going to check my answer. Just bear with me. 5G, beautiful. All right, and let's move on to the last one. Oops, so this time our constant cross section. Well, this shape's hard to draw. Okay, so I'm going to draw my trapezium first. And then I'll draw it again over here. I'm going to do dotted lines. Okay, and then we connect our corners. All right, so highlighting the constant cross section, which is this front part here. Okay, remember, as I said before, if you saw that as a rectangle and a triangle, you can add them together. You get the same answer. Okay, oops, but I'm going to leave it as, oh, I didn't want to have that on there anymore. Can I go over that? No. All right, so the area of that constant cross section, so the area of a trapezium is, oh, let me just write it down. Sorry. Let's find the page. I just want to be consistent with how the textbook has got it. So half A plus B times H. And then we've got the length of the shape. So it's times 12, or I'm just going to do length for now, and then we'll substitute everything in. So A and B are your two horizontal lines, the perpendicular lines there. So this side is 6, which also makes this one 6. So it's 6 plus 10, sorry. So that is if I wasn't confident, 10. And then 5 is your height. And then the length of your shape is 12. All right, so you can do all that on your calculator. So we've got 0.5 times 16 times 5 times 12. So I get 480 centimeters cubed, which converts to 0.48 litres. So just divide the 480 by 1,000 to put it into litres. All right, so let's go to the next question. The leaf blower's coming back. Okay, question 8. A brick is 10 centimetres wide, 20 centimetres long, and 8 centimetres high. How much space would 5 of these bricks occupy? So girls, I might actually, instead of doing the whole question, because I want to do one more video today, and I'm just looking at how many questions there are. So a brick is 10 by 20 by 8. Okay, so let's draw our diagram. All right, so there's your brick. It's not the best picture I've drawn. So 10, 20, and 8. So it doesn't really matter which side you label, but I'm going to do 8 and 10 at the side and then 20, and we're dealing with centimetres. And we've got 5 of them, so we're going to multiply all that by 5. So your area of a rectangular prism is length times width times height, and we've got 5 of them. Okay, so 8 times 10 times 20 times 5. Okay, so 5 bricks. All right, I'm going to move on to question 9. So I'll scroll up to read it for you. How much airspace is contained inside a rectangular cardboard box that has the dimensions of 85 centimetres by 62 by 36? Answer using cubic meters. Okay, so see how you've got cubic meters. You can either do your conversion of your length before you start, or you can convert at the end. Now, depending on what you find easier, doesn't matter. I'm going to do it at the end because it means then we only have to convert one number, whereas if I did it at the start, I've got to convert the 85, 62, and 36. So I'm going to do my conversion at the end. So quickly draw my rectangle. Oh, maybe I'll do the whole answer as a question. Okay, so there's a rectangular prism or cardboard box. What is it? 85, 62, 36. 85, 62, 36. I'm just going to make sure I've written them correctly. Okay, so your area is length times width times height. So 36 times 62 times 85. So I'll just do that on my calculator. 36 times 62 times 85. Okay, so I get 189,720 centimetres cubed. Now, we do have to convert this into metres. So if I'm going from centimetres cubed to metres cubed, I'm going to be dividing. Now, there's 100 centimetres in a metre, and because we're working with volume, I'm dividing by 100 cubed. So I'm just going to do that on my calculator. Okay, and I get 0.1892 meters cubed. And how many decimal places? 2 decimal places, so I cut it off here. So I'm looking at this number. That means I'm going to be rounding that 8 up to 9. So your final answer is 0.19 meters cubed. Okay, question 10. Oh, it's getting closer. 25 litres of water is poured into a rectangular fish tank, which is 50 by 20 by 20. Will it overflow? Okay, so for this question, I might just talk you through it. What you need to do is find out the volume of this tank. So you'd just be doing 50 times 20 times 20. And I've just done that on my calculator, which is 20,000. Then we need to convert that into litres. So 20,000 centimetres cubed. For converting it into litres, we divide it by 1,000 and I get 20 litres. So will it overflow? It certainly will, 5 by 5 litres. So your tank is only 20 litres big, so 25 litres of water will not fit. All right, question 12. I'm just going to pause and rub that.